Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Pursuit Live. I'm your producer, Chris. Dave has the night off. Unfortunately, he's down in Nashville doing Dave things, so we'll just leave it at that. But we do have an able-bodied replacement, so please welcome our program manager, Rob.
What's up, everybody?
And we got a special guest for you guys tonight. Tonight's going to be a fun show. All right. Every show's a fun show, but this one especially because this is a longtime friend of the show and an outstanding outdoorsman. He's a fellow member of the Monteleone mobile team. So please, everybody, welcome Adam Monteleone, the Squatch himself.
Yeah. Thank you.
However, he's identifying this. I think he's identifying as Squatch self. Squatch self. Now.
Squatch is my pronoun.
So anybody that knows the Squatch, you know, Adam's a dedicated outdoorsman and he's an all-around good guy. So this should be a good one, and I think we'll have some fun tonight. I did tell Squatch to have a couple before he came on the show, so we'll get him a little lightened up. There we go. So I think we're ready to get into it. What do you boys feel?
I'm ready, man.
How you feeling, Rob? Even though you're stuffing your face over there.
Tired. I am tired.
I'm so tired. So tired.
So frustrating.
Oh, I gotta work tonight. Oh, I'm a first responder.
Anyway, we'll cut Rob a little bit of slack. Not too much.
Yeah, gotta go easy.
Listen, some guys go overseas to fight wars. I fight them here. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you know. Listen, I'm not gonna dig into you too much. All right.
I can't even say that with a straight face.
You know, thank you for your service.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, all right. So let's get into this a little bit here. So, Adam, if you could, kind of, you know, for anybody who doesn't know you, kind of run from the beginning. How did you get started in the outdoors? And I understand that, you know, back then you were hunting velociraptors and Tyrannosaurus Rex, but you know, what was it like? And I have to ask you this question beforehand. Mm-hmm. From watching movies, I've been led to believe that 12 gauge 2 3/4 inch birdshot and a 45-70 are both good calibers for dinosaur. Is that true?
Well, you know, you're almost right, but you know, I would tend to probably lean towards the 3.5. That's my favorite gun to go after turkeys with, and that thing packs a hell of a wallop. But yeah, I'm the Squatch for anybody that doesn't know me. I got started out knowing Chris and Dave and Rob and everybody through Pursuit Energy. It was a short venture, but it was a good venture, and I made a lot of friends, a lot of good brothers here online. My hunting career started out when I was a little boy. My grandfather and my father were both avid outdoorsmen. From the time I was a little boy, we had a big Italian family. All the cousins, the uncles, everybody showed up to our house. I was fortunate to grow up with at least 100 acres of our own land that adjoined a cousin's property, which was an apple orchard of almost 300 acres up behind us. And watching those guys all come in the morning, having their coffee, eating their breakfast, and making a plan to push those woods. I was just a baby Squatch then, and I really wanted to get out in the woods and hunt, and my grandfather was scared to death of me getting hurt. My father said at the age of 9, come on, I'll take you out. My grandfather said, no, I don't want him out there with everybody. Take him out by himself. So we went another year or so, and I shot the first deer I ever shot off my dad's knee. He had a 9mm Camp Carbine rifle, Marlin. We sat down on a bucket in the swamp, and I shot the first doe I ever killed right off his lap. And it was a real cool experience, and it got me hooked after that. And by the age of 12, I was running the woods by myself. I had a 22 over-under 410 Old Savage Model 34F, and I shot a doe at 75 yards through the lungs with a CCI Stinger. Totally illegal, totally probably shouldn't even say it, but that's what we did back then up in the country up here. Nobody bothered us. We were on our own land.
Well, I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations ran out. So we do have a surprise guest here.
Oh,
Straight from a bar of questionable nature.
I won't be on long. I'm just checking in. We got big Squatch on, making sure you guys are doing what you gotta do.
got your hat on. Looks like he's having fun.
Gabe, why are there dudes dancing in the background?
I'm just making sure I'm doing something you guys later on.
Hey, Chris, we're accepting of everybody here.
It is 2024. We do have to accept that.
Yeah.
Whatever Dave's into, all right. You know,
Yeah,
Dave,
whatever
Dave wants to go to some weird bars. Squatch wants to identify as Squatch self. Rob's a first responder, so I mean,
Listen, not everybody can be an engineer.
We have to accept that. So, all right. So back to our regularly scheduled programming. We apologize for the interruption.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, went out. I got my first doe with the 22, and it was a nice sized deer.
That's how you know. I just checked. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations is run out. So this story, you can tell this story.
So everything pretty much since then's been legal. We'll put it that way. But no, I cut my teeth on getting deer hunting underneath my in my folder there, and I was really happy. And ever since then, I took up the bow and arrow as an early child too. I learned on a recurve. I went back to the recurve in my career, shot a buck with that. Went back to the compounds, been with the compounds ever since. I couldn't tell you how many deer have fallen over the years. I'm gonna be 50 this year. If I thought about it and really counted, because of the deer that I took on farm permits also over the years, you're talking probably close to the excess of almost 250 deer. If I had to give you a wild number guess, but love archery.
That few, huh?
That few. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably guys out there shot 500 by now, but it's I had a lot of woods at my disposal. I would get off the bus and run down in the woods and shoot squirrels. I used to shoot a brick of CCI Stingers. Oh gosh, I'd be through them in a couple of days, and I used to take the tails off the squirrels and sell them to MEPS lures, and they would send me lures back for the tails that I mailed out. But the problem was I was throwing the squirrel bodies over the bank behind the garage, and it got real sticky. And my father got real mad, and he said, "If you're not gonna eat that, son," he said, "I don't want you shooting it." But I explained what I was doing. And
you gave him the wrong answer. What you were supposed to say is, "I'm baiting the Yotes and raccoons."
Well, back then we didn't have Yotes. There was no Yotes back then. The DEC didn't introduce them into the area until the early 90s. We did have feral dogs, which were just wild dogs that people would dump off on our road, and they were pretty miserable. But yeah, so like I said, it was my grandfather taught me a lot. Very, 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 very smart man. He was also a butcher his whole life. My great grandfather was a butcher. So not only did I learn how to hunt and stalk and do all that stuff from them, I also learned how to, when, from the time the deer hits the ground to the time I put it away in the freezer, it's all handled by me, nobody else. So.
Well, if you need a good deer processor, I know a guy.
I think I know that guy too. I know that guy. He is I've seen his work. It's very nice. Does a good job.
I mean, it's he's okay. He's decent.
You got to point him out to me next time.
Yeah, he kind of looks like you a little bit.
Sounds like a good-looking guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. So.
All right. So let's get into this a little bit here. Now, as a bow hunter, when I know you're involved in a little bit of things with bow hunting. Why don't you kind of go into some of your affiliations here?
Yeah, I would love to. So I've been fortunate enough to be on the field staff for Warhead Arrow Company. You guys all know Jason's Killing and Grilling, I'm sure. He's a
never
outstanding member of our group. And never heard him. Yeah, he does like some cooking and stuff, and he's like one of them guys from Kentucky, Ohio area. But
doesn't seem like something I'd be interested in.
I was very fortunate enough to be asked to be on their field staff with Jason. Great guy, like I said, great arrows. I've been shooting since the beginning of spring with Warhead, and I love them. I love the arrows. They're very, very strong. They remind me a lot of gold tips when the gold tips came out, of the durability and how much strength they endure. And I can't say enough good about it. I mean, it's just a great company. They stand behind what they sell. I'm also fortunate enough to be on with Rec Broadheads. And I've bought the FX4s. That's a fixed blade head, 2-blade with 2 bleeder blades on it, 100 grain. I shot that into a frozen rib cage of a deer that I had on the target. I put a balloon behind it, did a demonstration with that. I'm telling you, they stayed razor sharp. They penetrated through bone and fly like a field tip. I mean, you could not believe how nice these broadheads work. And I'm real excited to put one into a whitetail come the early fall. And I also got the newer expandables that they sell, the HXPs, and I'm going to try them out also. I'm not really a mechanical guy, but when I talk to them, their development of them and the research that they've done, high quality broadhead. And my theory is, if I get a really nice sized doe out in front of me, I'm going to let it rip with that. I'll have them both in my quiver. The buck, if I see the good bucks that I got on camera right now, I'm going to stick with the fixed blade until I know for sure that I'm happy with the mechanical. But knowing their reputation and the quality that they make, and from what I've seen in his demonstrations, I think it's a safe bet that I'm going to be happy with both of them. So, but yeah, archery wise, I shoot both. I shoot a Matthews. I stick to my old Z3 that I got. That was given to me by my cousin as a gift, and I've killed a lot of animals with it. Also, I shoot an Elite. I have an Elite Revel. That's more my target bow. And
New York made, buddy.
Yeah, great company. Very, very, very well made bow. They stand behind also what they sell. My cousin shoots Revels, or the Elites. I mean, he's got a bunch of Elites. He's got an Impulse 31. I know he's got a bunch, and he was the one that actually told me about Elite. But the Matthews, what do you know? You're a Matthews guy too.
I've never heard of that company before.
Never heard of Matthews either. Yeah. They're this company. McPherson started them out back when I was a lad. So
back when you were a lad. So what do you do?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is Matt was definitely hunting dinosaurs.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I actually got a Super Mag 48 bear up there on the counter up here. I killed a deer with that. I wanted to go back. I learned on recurve, and I'd say about 10, 15 years ago, I got the itch to pick up the recurve, and I practiced with it religiously every day. And buck came out in front of me at 18 yards, and I put it right through the boiler room, and I couldn't be happier. The deer went like 45 yards and tipped over and died. So, you know, it was a real accomplishment. No sights, you know, just a stick in the string, and you know, really made me happy. And I hunted with it for a couple more years after that, but you know, I had the technology with bows and everything started getting a lot better, and I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to go back. I got the itch to go back to the compounds. So I've had, I don't even know, numerous bow. I used to be the guy that bought a brand new bow every year.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. You got some nice stuff, man. Nice stuff. But yeah, I mean, the deer don't know what I'm shooting at them. They just know they're dead. So you know,
That's
and
all
they
that
still
matters,
shoot.
right?
Throws a good arrow. I chrono it out and everything. It's I'm shooting like 278 or something with the Matthews right now, and I think the Elite I'm probably around 265. So
All right.
heavy
So,
arrows. Shoot heavy
Carl,
arrows.
I got a couple other questions for you here.
Yeah.
Now I know you're a big energy drink guy. What's your favorite energy drink?
I don't drink any energy drinks anymore after Pursuit went out of business.
No, I had to listen. I had to bring it up. All right. So quick shout out, you know, to Pursuit Energy.
Yeah.
There it is.
It was great. Eric was great. I had no problems with Eric. And that's why I never even drank energy drinks until I got online with you guys with Pursuit. But I was very happy with the stuff that he made. He had a lot of great flavors. I'm sorry to see that it turned out the way it did. But hey, out of it all, we all became friends. And
In case
you know,
anybody's wondering, I do have a limited edition Citrus Berry Zero that is available for sale. It is probably one of the last ones in existence.
That was my favorite.
the citrus berry. Oh my gosh.
So
I just finished the grape. I finished the grape about maybe a month ago. I had one grape left, and I was like, I'm gonna drink it. I like it. Look at
what else you want?
Oh my gosh. Look at. Oh, you still got jerky too? Holy cow.
I mean, it paid to be a pro staff director a little bit, so. All right, so I do want to get into a couple other questions. I told everybody this was going to be a fun episode, so we are going to have a little bit of fun with it. Now, I want to know, what are 3 things that you have to carry with you every hunt you go on? License and rifle aside, or bow, you know, whatever it is. Just, you know, what are 3 things that have to be in your pocket every time you go in the woods?
Well, in my pocket. Well, on my phone, I always carry the Bible app. And you guys know I'm a pretty religious fella. I believe in the good Lord. He blesses me every day. And I always keep his word with me out in the woods. And all seriousness, if you read while you're in the woods, I guarantee you that you will have deer show up. I have really noticed over the past that you know, sitting there and you know, you don't have a lot going on sometimes before the deer movement starts. I'll get into a couple verses and all of a sudden deer magically appear. So it's kind of God's way of telling me, hey, son, you're doing right. So the Bible's one. I'll say the Bible I take with me, even though it's on my phone. It's not the actual paperback, but I bring that with me out in the woods. Always a lighter.
If you really need it, I think I might have 1 or 2 camouflaged ones that the priests were. That old chap
I
was
do have
handing out as we were getting on the plane.
I have a sportsman one it's camoed. I do have one like that. But a lighter, I also always bring a lighter with me out in the woods. I won't go out in the woods without some way to make fire. And as always, you know, compass or GPS or both. You know, it's really my go-to things to take out with me to make sure that I'll be able to get back home safe.
I know Reaper's busy tonight, so he's not here to rip on us for that. But you know, listen, phones die. An old fucking Lensatic compass does not die.
No, I carry both. I got a compass and a GPS, but like I said, you know, I know how to use
Listen,
both.
listen, your
Yeah.
phone will die, your GPS will die. That compass, it ain't going down.
No, we always got the compass on us.
All right, so I'm gonna hit you with a couple of hard questions now.
Yeah.
All right, so why is Sitka subalpine your favorite camouflage pattern?
Because when I wear that, it reminds me that I could be like you someday and actually, be as cool as you someday. So I'm just hoping that, they have it in my size and, maybe I can get some hand-me-downs from you. How's that sound?
Well, I'm like 4 feet taller than you, so I don't know if.
But I make it up in width.
All right, so I know you're a big proponent of wearing what's available, and I do have to comment on your camo choice. Now, anybody that's seen the Squatch, you'll see when he goes out in my favorite camouflage pattern of all time, which is actually Woodland BDU.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't really even have anything to comment on that. It's the best camouflage pattern ever. Prove me wrong.
I mean, there's stuff here on the wall behind me. I mean, it's not like that's only a couple of them.
Listen, that's when my first deer that I ever, actually the first couple of deer that I ever shot, I was wearing BDUs.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I've always, I've got other stuff too. I got mossy oak and different stuff like that, but I don't know.
Nothing beats your Sitka collection, right?
No, my Sitka collection is just it's gaining popularity, especially the hemmed ones that I got from you that I had to take up about 3 feet on the bottom. So,
yeah. Guys, I gotta run. I'm sorry.
All right, be safe out there.
I gotta go be a first responder.
You guys have a great night. Great seeing you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, whatever, Rob. We understand your job comes first. We get where your priorities are. You want to bail out?
Listen, I got 4 years and then I'm done.
Oh, and then you're a full-time host, is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
All right, everybody. So you heard it there. Stick around. Another 4 years. Rob is going to be running the show full-time. I can take a break at that point.
Sounds good. We'll go on hunts. We'll do whatever. So you guys have a great night.
I'm going to hold you to that, Rob.
You too, Rob.
Right. You got it. All right,
have
bye.
a good night.
All right, so
Now that we shed that dead weight.
now that guy's gone, we can have some real fun. All right, let's be serious. No, like who honestly likes Rob? Honestly, I mean, I know he's my boy and all, but I just
Cops are losers.
Cops are losers. I mean, Rob, John, Jimmy,
They're all last guys.
All them.
those
them
last
silly
two guys are garbage. We can get rid of. We can shed that dead weight right off the team, and we'll be in good shape.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna hit you with some other serious questions here.
Yeah.
All right. What is your favorite dangerous game cartridge, and why is it the 375 H&H?
Well, I can't argue with that one. I would like the 475 Tyrannosaur. I think is.
Have you ever fired a 477 T-Rex or
No,
a 577 T-Rex?
The biggest thing I've ever fired off was the 4570 hand loads that I made for my father's gun, which are, pterodactyl taper downers or whatever the heck you want to call them. But
I'll tell you this. Anybody who thinks that big guns are cool, they are. They're cool.
They hurt.
Don't get me wrong. My 450 Marlin.
Oh, that's a beast. Yeah.
I thought it was like, oh, this is a 4570 on steroids. I need one. So what did I do? I ran out and bought one. First time I took it up, I fired 4 rounds. That was the only 4 rounds I ever put through that gun.
And that's a ported barrel.
And I tell you what, I would show up to the range with all my buddies because they think they were cool. And I'll tell you what I would do. I would lay that gun on the table. I would lay that box on the table with 4 rounds still missing out of it. I would lay $100 bill underneath the box and say, if you can get through this box, you can keep the 100.
Yeah.
Nobody even got to 4 rounds.
Nope.
So
I had a scope go bad on my father's 4570. I put a box of shells through that thing through my shoulder, and my shoulder was black and blue. It looked like gelatin, like on a deer when they get hit by a car.
Yep.
That's how bad my shoulder was. And I come to find out that the scope wasn't holding zero. And I went to the sporting goods store, I bought a new scope, mounted it, put it on, put about another 10 rounds through the thing. And I was like, this is never happening again. And I gave the gun back to him. I said, you hunt with that thing. I don't want it. So I'm very fortunate enough, though, to have my favorite gun is my 35. And that's a Marlin. My dad bought me that when I was.
Well, that was going to be my real question. If you're out there rifle hunting,
yeah,
what is your favorite all around rifle caliber?
My Marlin 336 that I've been carrying since I was 12, 13 years old.
In 35 rem?
In 35 rem, yeah. I do shoot the Hornady Lever Revolutions out of it. Very, very happy with that round. Yeah, a lot of deer, one bear. I mean, the gun's awesome, man. I'm a mountain guy. I hunt a lot of thick brush. I really don't have, cross field shots. If I do, I take my 257 Roberts out. I hand load for that. That was custom built by a gunsmith back in the 60s. It's on an FN Mauser action, three lug. Great gun. Shot a lot of deer with that too, but I like the quickness of the 35 in the lever action, especially when I'm up in the mountains. It's a carbine, it's a short lever action rifle. I can wield that thing up quick. I mean, I don't have the longest arms in the world. I got, Popeye arms.
He's not joking about that, folks. I've met Squatch in person. I'm not kidding.
But it's my favorite gun, and it's the sentimental value of it that my dad bought it for me, and I'm still blessed to have my dad with me. But I love that gun. That gun, when you sit back, and I've even posted stuff like this even on Instagram and stuff, but I'll actually look at that gun in my hands or across my lap, and I go, holy cow, I've been carrying this thing that long. And then I think about every season that gun's been in my hands and what happened, who was with me, and how things went down. And sometimes there's not even people here anymore that I hunted with that gun. So it brings back a lot of memories. It's a sentimental piece, and I would be heartbroken if something happened to it or whatever. But it is my favorite gun, and it's just like, it fits you. It's a piece of you, and you have that confidence in what you're shooting when you go out in the woods. And like I said, I'll take it anywhere. I love that gun. I love the way it shoots. I love the way it hammers a deer. And when Hornady made that bullet, they really, really increased the efficiency of that gun. They really did.
The lever evolutions.
Yes. Yeah. That it brought it from a 100-yard gun that was pretty accurate out to a 200-yard gun that's deadly accurate.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. So that's right. My favorite gun is the 35. In a Marlin 336 action. A real true Marlin. It's not one of them Rugers or something like that. Yeah.
Listen, them guns, not for nothing. Anybody that owns a Marlin right now, an original Marlin, if you own a 336,
hold on to it.
Hold on to it, because they are worth a lot of money right now.
My father bought that gun at Thruway Market in Walden for.
Never been there. Yeah. Don't even know where it is.
You're such a liar. It was about probably, I think back then was maybe $180, $200. Now they're $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, and it's not even a true Marlin. So
no, it's not, and that's the thing. If you have a true Marlin now, forget about it. They are worth their weight. I don't want to say in gold, but they're definitely worth their weight in lead.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And the way you can find out if you do have a true one is also, of course, by the serial numbers. You can look it up, but there'll be a round oval with a JM stamped into the barrel, and that stands for Jim Marlin. He was the creator of Marlin rifles. So the true originals have that JM stamp in them. And like I said, everybody, whatever you use. It works for you. I never take nothing away from anybody. Everybody's got their preferences for stuff, but I'm a true believer in that old lever gun. I just love it. It's something that's, I'm a Northeast hunter. I'm a mountain man. I like being
I don't even know where that is on the map.
It's up a little bit past that long lawn, LAWN guy land, something. It's up north of there. So,
Are you talking about East Jersey?
It is East Jersey, I thought.
Right? Oh yeah, that's where you are. You're north of East Jersey, where Dave lives. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to get into some tougher topics tonight.
Good.
So now that I hit you with all these softball questions, I know you're a big predator hunter.
Yeah.
I do want to take a minute to talk about your predator tactics.
Okay. Sure.
Because I know you've said, Chris, we got to get you up and we got to do some Yodi hunting.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we definitely
I definitely want to talk about this. If I can fit it into my schedule between Dangerous Game and Alaska and Brooks Range, Alaska, and
yeah,
it's tough, man. You got time for New York Coyotes?
Well, you know what though, you hunt New York, so you should knock down some coyotes because they are a problem.
Oh, listen, on my property, target of opportunity.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. No, the predator hunting when everything else is said and done, deer season winds down, and the old Squatch is tired from sitting in tree stands and doing what I do for basically September on till the middle of December. I switch gears. I do a lot of ice fishing. I do predator hunting. We haven't had any ice, so predator hunting really took off.
All right, listen, we had ice. We had ice back in 2021. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I was able to get out for 3 days. I'm not trying to hear that we didn't have ice.
Well, I mean, I'm running about 230, 236 right now, so I like to make sure that
ice. Buddy, come on.
You are? No, you can't be. You can't be.
Yeah, dude.
Maybe
I'm
you're sick
than you.
Your Sitka might be soaking wet, and then you're hitting that kind of.
If my Sitka's soaking wet, I'm probably 260.
If you had three
my jet sled and all my tip ups and my clam shelter and my Yeti cooler full of beer, I'm dragging 500 pounds out there.
Yeah. So no, I mean the predator hunting. I bought the ATN scope that records. It's got night vision. And then last year I just bought a thermal monocular. Not as good as the one my cousin got. His is like crystal clear, but he spent a lot more money. But the night vision scope records on the ATN. I do a lot of, if you guys have seen my channel, there's a lot of hunts on there, predator hunts. I get out. My tactics are I set up. I've got a lot of apple orchards near me, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to get out in them. I'll set my caller up, my decoy up. I use a Fox Pro caller. Shout out to Fox Pro, great stuff. It's the Firefox, I think is the name of it. But that one, you can download the MP3 stuff to it. You can update it. I throw that thing out there, and I call them critters in. And what's really cool is the video is all done right on the scope. So what you're seeing is what I'm seeing through the scope until I pull the trigger. And then if it's a follow-up thing afterwards, I'll go out with the video camera and, do a little ending or, an intro to it. And it's kind of where I started really learning the editing process. Not that I'm very good at it, but learning how to put some videos together, keeping the Squatch title out in the beginning and the creepy theme music that I usually run in the beginning, so everybody knows it's the same show over and over again. But I really enjoy it, and I'm really doing a service to us hunters, the community, people with pets. I have 4 gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful dogs. My beagles are my life, and if they got attacked by a coyote, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. And I try to limit what coyotes are able to do around here. Also shoot up the fox population a little bit. Don't go too crazy on them, but I do have chickens. I got 19 chickens. They have come into the yard and taken a few. So I'll cull the fox off a little bit too, but not as much as the coyotes. Coyotes are the number one carrier of rabies and distemper. A lot of people don't understand that. When I knock on people's doors to get permission for their property, it's always a question, well, why do you want to shoot them? They're not doing anything. They're just running around the woods. I mean, don't they eat the dead stuff? And I explain to the people, well, your Fifi over there, if it's out, you're letting it out, going to the bathroom, you take your eyes off it for a second, and that sucker comes down out of the woods into the yard, you're not going to have Fifi anymore. Or if it gets bit or gets in an entanglement with a coyote, there's a good chance that they're going to have rabies and distemper in their dog. Some dogs are vaccinated. Some people don't get them vaccinated. But why take the chance? They're very dangerous animals. And I've got trail cam pictures. I'm sure you saw it. I posted it on Instagram. One of my hunting spots, I didn't get over there as much as I did here. Sure enough, I had a doe come through at 9 o'clock on the camera. At 9:06, there's a big coyote with her fawn in its mouth, and I got it on video camera. So on the trail cameras. So not a good picture, not what you want to see, but that's why I knock them down every chance I get, and it's something to do during the winter. I have skinned them out and done my own tanning on their hides before, but you can't really do anything with them besides that. But like I said, they're just a good. Yeah, you got one. Yeah. So yeah, but that's my fun during the winter. I mean, we pass the time. I'm like a zombie in the winter between plowing for the highway department, and I'm out all hours of the night, and then trying to squeeze coyote hunts in till 2 or 3 in the morning because that's when about they're most active. That and first daylight, they like to run a lot right at that first twilight hour.
Oh, that's it. That's the time.
Yeah. So,
all right. So I want to touch on something before we get into some preseason activities here.
Okay.
Now I know you're a big fisherman.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody here might be into fishing. I'm into fishing, and we are an all-encompassing outdoor show. So I would be remiss if I didn't touch on this. And you do catch some slam and Lakers.
I do. Thank you.
Let's get into some of your fishing activities here. And I do want to preface this by saying everybody kind of sleeps on New York as an outdoor state because we are controlled by the occupied territories of New York City. However, New York State is a sportsman's paradise, if you will.
Yep.
But not only that, we have some of the best trout fishing in the world.
Yeah.
Right here in New York State, especially in the areas that Squatch and I live in. Squatch and I don't live too far from each other. What are we, like maybe an hour away?
Yeah, you're like 40 minutes, 45 really. Yeah. So
from where we live, within 1 hour travel of where we live, is literally a place that they call Trout Town, USA. So I do want to get into some of your trout activities here. So if you don't mind, kind of take us through a little bit of your fishing.
Sure. So I don't know if you guys can see that, maybe with the glare. That's just a picture of one on the phone.
What is that? Is that a sunfish?
That's a brown.
That's a little sunny.
Yeah. That was up on the Rondout Reservoir, which is in New York City Reservoir. That's a brown trout, and that's what they call a German brown. They're rarer than the Seafoam browns that are stocked up there. Started trout fishing the reservoirs about 6.5 years ago. Had fished them before, but mainly off the shore. We didn't put boats up there. We were always afraid somebody's going to take the boat. But had a few boats laying around, so I said, you know what, it's time. I hear there's big lake trout up there. Started out in the Rondout, did really good the first year, did incredible the second year. My biggest was 10.5 pounds. It was 28.5 inches long. and it was just a monster. I caught a couple like that up there that year. From then, we fished around out pretty good. Started concentrating on the browns, and as of last fall, we put a boat up on the Papacton Reservoir, which is one of the furthest one out, up by Andes is the name of the town up that way. And that is probably one of the best brown fisheries you could ever ask for in New York State. If you check out my channel, we've put stuff up there. We're really learning the trolling game. I fished a lot of bait, at first, and I got that down, but really wanted to step up the challenge. It's kind of like going from a compound to a recurve. So trolling is like using a recurve. I used lead core line last year. Wasn't really happy with it, so I went back to the mini troll downriggers, and that's the ticket. Another secret to help you guys out. I don't mind sharing because I'm not one of those guys that I don't want you to know what I do.
We can't listen. We want to keep the big trout for us.
Well, probably a lot of guys out there know this one, but use the fluorocarbon for your leaders. Stuff is super, super strong. Fish can't detect it, and it's a good little trick when you're out there. I use braid on my pulls. I use a 30-pound braid because those trout have some sharp teeth in their mouth, and I'm a big proponent of using Elmer Hinckley spoons. He's a company out of I think it's Central New York. His name is Pete. He bought the company, and he bought all the tooling. And these spoons that I buy from him, I'm telling you, man, they're one of the best. I'm really blessed to have a lot of good companies behind me. And, these spoons, we got it figured out, man. I mean, we get up there, we figure out what speed we need to be at, how many feet down we need to be with the downrigger. And you guys can see, you can look on the channel. I mean, my father and I, we do pretty well up there. And it's a good time. It really is. Time with your parents, you never know how long you got. So it's time well spent. And, it's funny because as they get older, you teach them where they taught you. So he's 73. So it's kind of comical sometimes. He'll ask me things like, well, I'm like, Dad, you notice stuff. Why? Yeah. Well, I haven't done it. I'm like, okay, it's all good. But we always have a blast, man. We always have a blast. We do well. We come up on shore. People's eyes are, bugging out. You guys got that in there? Yep. So, there's guys out there better than me too, man. There's a lot of guys out there better than me. They do really good. I know a few fishermen up there that do a lot better than me, but it's kind of a time thing too, because it takes us 2 hours to get up there. But we're crazy enough. We'll leave the house here at 3 a.m. We'll drive up there. We're right at the crack of dawn. And anybody that's a reservoir fisherman knows you got to bring all your stuff down to your boat that's there, and then wheel the boat down to the shore, load the boat. And I mean, I'm floating out of there like a Carnival cruise. I got everything. So,
Wow.
I mean, a couple of times I think I've seen Kathy Lee Gifford jump off the damn thing and run for the shore because she saw us coming. But it's a good time. We have a good time. I'm very blessed. I've caught monsters fish up there. I've taken people with me. Guys been blown away. I think you've seen some of the pictures of the stuff I caught.
Oh yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I love, and you mentioned Trout Town. When I was a kid, opening day of trout season was always April 1st, still is. Me and my brother, 7 years younger than me, and my dad would get in his Toyota Corolla and load the car full of stuff, and we would drive up the night before, and we would find a pull-off by where the bridge was. We'd sleep in the car, and first light, the old man was, come on, let's go. We got to get the fish. And we would fish all day, and people ask me, how do you go all day without eating and stuff? It's because my dad was so damn cheap. It was like, we're fishing all day, and we'll eat when we're done. So it's where I got it from, man. I'm one of those guys I could go, and just, fish all day and stuff. And that's how it was ingrained in me. And we fished Trout Town a lot when I was a kid. when I met my wife over 29 years ago, she lived up on one of the other best trout fisheries, was the Esopus Creek, which ran from.
Don't give it away.
Oh, I won't give it away, but it's a good. It's a good stream up there, and it used to be really,
best,
really.
It's the best
Yeah,
stream. Stop
yeah.
talking about it altogether.
But nah, hey, you know what? It's all good. But I learned how to really stream fish up there when I was younger, and I used to do really good. Catch 21-inch browns up there every time I went.
Oh yeah.
So very fortunate, man. I've just the Lord made me who I am. I'm an avid outdoorsman, man. I don't know. There's nothing. I thank God I don't do other things like I hunt and fish, because I probably wouldn't be here. But you know, it's that avenue that we all eat, you know, sleep and breathe. You and I are all the same. You know, everybody that follows us on here is all the same. And you know, I'm just grateful that I met so many good people on here. It's really a great thing to share. I wish I had this, you know, social media platform back when I was really cutting my teeth and everything. You know, I used to read magazines and, you know, just different stuff like that, trying to pick up tips. And, you know, you try to ride the coattails of some of the old timers around here and listen to what they do and try to pick up their techniques. And, you know, if this stuff was around back then, you know,
you'd be a much better hunter.
Well, I'd probably be like, you know, have my own show or something. So
I do want to touch on that for a minute. And it's, you know, you and I kind of grew up the same way, and it was, we go to hunting camp. That was where knowledge was passed down. That was how we learned how to hunt. And you know, I'm always, I tell everybody my thoughts on the matter, and it's really somewhere in the late 2000s to really almost the COVID era, we lost that. As a community, we didn't have hunting camp. Nobody was going fishing, you know, where everybody would meet up, and then we'd, you know, go talk to locals. We'd go talk to other guys, and you'd be sitting there on the side of the road. Hey, you know, you're coming out. What did you catch today? Oh, where were you? What are you using? Yeah. We lost that along the way. And I will say social media and I, you know, back in the pursuit days, I was a big proponent of that social media really gave us that digital deer camp, where now that's one of the main goals of this show is to share that knowledge, to have that campfire chat where we can sit there and all talk about, hey, this is what I do. This is what works for me. I'm in this part of the country and this works, but I've been over here and this doesn't work. Or, you know, just this shared knowledge that we all have. We can now exchange ideas and really all become better for it. And hopefully it's working, you know.
It is working. I mean, so many people.
If we can get Reaper to shut up once in a while and let somebody else talk, then
I call him the professor.
So
he's a great guy, very knowledgeable, shares a lot of the same stuff that I've seen over the years.
I mean, he's okay. He's decent at best.
No, come on, give the guy credit. He's good.
Listen, Reaper's an okay guy, but if you know, if our group chats ever get leaked, we're all fucked. But no, I do want to say, you know, listen, I when I say that we kind of grew up the same way and we're cut from the same cloth, I mean it, because me and my fly fishing partner, he's a New York City fireman. I get off of work and I would come home and I'd text him or I'd talk to him just to see what he's doing. He said, "You got anything going on tonight?" We would drive an hour up to the Esopus, an hour and a half, literally to fish for a half hour or an hour, to drive 90 minutes back. And that's what it takes to really be a dedicated outdoorsman. If you know, everybody thinks that it's easy because, you know, they watch TV and it's, the deer just show up, or, you can just go out in the stream and, you know, wham, here we go. 23-inch brown. I'm good. It's not like that. You got to put that time in. You really have to be dedicated to go places. And there are places that me and my fishing partner, especially, have gone that have probably never seen people and if they do, it might be one or two people every 10 or 20 years, because we'll park the truck and walk to where we get tired. You need a bottle of water after walking to this place.
Yeah, I wore out many of waders walking the shorelines.
You have to, but that's part of that dedication.
Yeah.
You have to be in it to win it, and you got to go farther than the parking lot.
It's exactly right. And I'll tell you a quick funny story about that. We had a friend of ours that was partially handicapped. He walked with hand crutches, and he used to see the fish that we caught. And my dad said, "Hey," he said, "you're a beast." He said, "You think you could carry Bob down to the stream? He wants to go." So Bob's probably all about 125 pounds. So I said, "Bob, you good with this?" He's like, "Yeah, man, take me down there. I want to catch some fish." So I throw Bob up over my shoulders and firemen carry him all the way down to the stream. And we prop him up on a rock down there, and he caught some good old trout with us that day, and he never forgot it. But it's like you said, man. You got to take people to the places and show them, and I do love that part. I mean, even with turkey hunting, and I was fortunate enough to hook up with Lewis, and he made me head of his pro staff. I actually got a meeting tomorrow night for hunting all of New York outdoor calls. I'm going to be coming out with the Squatch series grunt calls. They're going to have my logo on it and everything. So
I'm not interested. Don't send me
one.
Don't send me one, and
Okay. All right.
Good luck running a pro staff. I don't know what that entails.
I know you know all about it.
I imagine it's super easy.
I may have to ask you a couple things along the way. But yeah, no, man, it's like you said, with the vast knowledge of what we can pass along and help each other out with. I mean, just this year alone, I went turkey hunting with so many different people. There was a young kid that came up from Florida, and I had the birds going nuts around us. And I looked over at the guy and I said, "Are you cold or are you just nervous?" He was shaking. And he says, "Both." I said, "It's okay, man. I'm here with you. We'll get it done. Just stay calm." And, it was really cool. He had a great time. I had a great time. It was like my first attempt, kind of really taking somebody I didn't know out. So that was cool. And, people are really kind, man. I get a lot of nice response from people complimenting me on the way I call. And I don't think I'm that good. I mean, I don't do anything different than a lot of guys do, but I tell people you got to pay attention to the cadence of the call, and the cadence makes all the difference in your presentation to that turkey. Also, the frequency of the call.
Just get out there and start banging on it. Bang on it all day long. They'll come.
That's it, man. Yeah. Just till their ears fall off. But no, Lewis approached me and he said, "Hey, look, I'd like you to use the calls," and he gave me the calls. And tell you what, man, it's probably some of the best quality darn calls I've ever used in my life. The materials that he uses, the sounds that I can do. I mean, the multiple reed calls, I can separate the reeds in my mouth while I'm calling and hit different frequencies and different tones with it. And
you're good with that tongue, are you?
Yeah. Made a lot of women happy over the years. But anyway, to keep it a PG movie here.
Listen, this just so everybody knows, this show is not made for kids. We advertise on when we post these on YouTube, we make sure this is not designed for people. If some young kid wants to watch it, listen, 8-year-olds are watching South Park these days. Whatever.
Yeah, well, they should be doing more of this though. But
100%.
Like I said, 100%. my thing with all that is, like you said, you're getting to know people, and it's social media. And here's somebody that's a total stranger to me. We talk a couple times, and people are good judges of characters. Most people can tell you're a pretty decent human being and stuff. And
I thought you were a nice guy when I first started talking to you, and apparently
but then your mind, you switched that all up.
Then I met you in person and we started talking, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what am I doing here?
Yeah, well, I mean, things happen, it's like That's why your mom told you don't talk to strangers and stuff, right? So, but
All
no,
right, so
it's cool. It's cool.
we are getting close to that hour mark, so I
Yeah.
do want to get it. And granted, we don't listen. We're not limited here. The show is not scripted, so I do want to get into a couple other things.
Sure.
I do want to get into, now that we're in the middle of summer, deer season is fast approaching.
Yeah.
I want to get into your preseason prep a little bit. What are you doing in these summer months to get you through August and September, ready for October 1st?
Well, first off, the one piece of property that I have is very thick, so I'm out bush hogging, keeping the trails open, the lanes open. You know, deer follow the path of least resistance. So when you make a country club for them and your stands are strategically placed alongside of those lanes or little fields that you got for a kill plot, you know, it helps the deer move in there and be comfortable, because you don't want to do that stuff right before season starts. You spook everything out of the country over there. So bush hogging's one of them. Stand preparation, food plots. I've already got the sugar beets planted. They're growing real nice right now. The deer are starting to, find where they are. And putting out, my trail cameras are out all year long. Like you mentioned in the beginning, I was fortunate enough to get on the field staff with Moultrie cameras, guys. I started using them last fall. Couldn't be happier. And when the opportunity came for jumping on the staff, I applied. And one of the questions was, have you used them? I said, I got 4 of them out right now. They're still running. So I said, they're great products. They're easy to set up, work great. I really appreciate Joe. Joe's a great guy. We talk quite a bit, and I'm just stoked to have it out there. And they sent me the cameras, the solar panel battery packs. So getting to get them out hopefully tomorrow. I want to get some footage of that. But cell camera placement, watching food plots, watching transition zones, taking ID of the animals that are in there right now. Of course, a lot of that changes as the rut begins. I have bucks that move in from other places in the county. They come off the mountain over here. They come down because the does are always here. So like I said, just getting everything ready, getting your trails cut, your stands maintained. I've picked up a new piece of land. I got to get some cameras over there.
Don't tell everybody where it is, because this whole
No.
show you've been giving up all the secret spots.
No. But like I said, it's the biggest thing is the food plots. Come August, I'll be doing some more food plots. Another round of the sugar beets in a couple areas. The reason why I like the beets, the soil really holds them good up here. My pH is around a 5.5, 6, maybe. So it supports that vegetable really good. They gnaw on the tops of the turnips, the beets that are up there. It really holds them to the area. And I have a couple other things that I plant. They call them, that's brassica, I think is the name, brassias. It's like a clover, shady mix that I got. I put that in spots where I'm out in the hardwoods. So I'll make a kill plot, just something small. A passing buck comes through. He's going to, graze on that. You get a shot opportunity. And what I tell people, like, is that really going to work? I said, well, don't, they come in your flower bed out in front of your house, and that's only, maybe 10 by 12. What do you think a kill plot's going to do out in the woods for you? So deer are browsers. They really like finding stuff like that and foraging on it. I don't know if you guys were fortunate enough. Jason and I did a quick live one night.
Who's this Jason guy that you keep talking?
I've
never heard of this guy.
He kind of friends with that guy, Hunt Chef guy. I don't know if you ever heard of Hunt Chef guy or whatever, but
that guy I've heard of. Listen, Jeremy's a good guy.
Oh, okay. But the connection's lost between the Jason Killen guy. Yeah, okay. He's kind of friends with that other fellow, Quentin. And,
I never heard of him.
Never heard of him? Full draw guy.
Tarantino?
No, not that clown. No.
The guy that directed, what was that? Pulp Fiction?
I don't know. I don't watch movies. I'm not a movie guy, man. I watch YouTube. That's about it. You know, I hate movie. I hate Hollywood. I hate movies. I don't even forget it. I'd rather watch hunting videos and stuff.
Are you sure that's all you're watching?
Yeah, yeah. Oh no.
We'll
So,
leave that. We'll leave that one alone. We'll file that with secret spots.
yeah, for a more quiet time.
So, all right. So I do want to talk for a minute. Your early season setup and your late season setup. If you could just kind of run us through how you approach the early season, especially
early
being
season,
here in New York.
Yeah.
The weather's
Early
variable.
Early season by me is a lot different than late season.
What do you mean by you? By us?
Well, you don't have the orchards that I have.
Angry Orchard is literally 15 minutes from my house, where they make Angry Orchard cider.
Yeah, but the deer are all drunk. They're too stupid to know you're there.
Exactly. That's why they're easy to shoot. And everybody wonders why I kill big deer. But
so early season tactics for me, basically transition zones from the food from their bedding area to their food. What I concentrate on a lot. I try to slip close into their bedding areas, stay high, downwind. I do use Scent Assassin's Earth Scent. Not affiliated with him or anything, but I do like his Earth Scent.
I am, and it's good stuff.
It is. He's great. No, great guy. Great guy. Can't say enough, man. I've used it for years.
Quick plug for Scent Assassin. If you're not using it, trust it is. It works.
I mean,
I
wouldn't lie. It's right here. I got it right here on the shelf. Get yourself some Scent Assassin. So I do like the Earth Scent early on. There's a lot of that smell going around. The earth. It's a good cover scent, especially I've had deer walk right underneath me with that stuff on. I don't use scent lock or anything like that. I just spray down.
Well, no, you're wearing Sitka all the time, so
I'm a Squatch. They're used to my smell anyway. But it's all good. It's all good. So yeah, like I said, transition zones from the bedding area to the food plots, or where they're feeding in the orchard, through the thick stuff. I try to slip in close to their bedding areas. Late season tactics, I'm looking for. Well, by that time, I usually switch gears. I'm up in the mountain, so I'm looking, for that second rut period. I'm kind of, looking for benches, the head of benches up there, just for a buck that might be roaming through, catching a thermal down below them, bringing the doe scent up. They'll come across the bench like that a lot up there, so I'll set up in there with the rifle and try to ambush a big old buck if he's coming down off the mountain. I was successful a couple years back with doing that technique. Late season food sources is always good. Water, bucks are run down, from the first rut, so you really want to concentrate. Sometimes midday is really good because a buck will get up and have to feed, and you'll catch him slipping up. You got to sit out there sometimes all day. Really cold, you're getting the late season stuff, but basically,
you're never cold in your Sitka gear.
Well,
Listen,
when I get some finally from you and a hand me down or something, I'll know that. But until then, I guess I got to freeze. I don't know.
All right, I guess we'll talk after this. So, all right, I do want to touch on a couple other things before we kind of get towards the end here.
Cool.
Dream hunts.
Dreams hunt.
Why do you want to go to Africa?
I don't know. To be like you again, I guess. I just I'll never I want to be like you, so I want to go to Africa. No.
All right.
Seriously,
well, listen, you're already on the right path. Just lose that stupid hat. Put on the right hat.
Hold on, wait. Here.
All
that one's better.
All right, it's better. It's better. It's an improvement. We'll go. I'll accept that.
It's like Ricky Bobby, You put Fig Newtons on your windshield. Yeah, man, it's for the endorsement. So
well, there you go. You slide.
I gotta cover everybody. That's my brother, Broadside Ambush Frank, man.
I've never heard of him.
Well, I'll make sure you get to know Frank. So we'll make sure of it. That dude is one of my most solid brothers, along with Johnny Nitro out there. All you guys, you know who follows
Johnny
me.
Nitro, I've heard of.
Johnny Nitro, let me tell you something.
Johnny Nitro is a good dude. He's a vet too. Thank you for your service, John.
He's an awesome vet, Purple Heart recipient. Let me tell you something. Johnny
Frank,
Nitro,
however, I vaguely think I know this guy, maybe.
Oh my gosh! Well, you're going to see a lot more of him because he's going to be partnering up with the Squatch quite a bit. So
who's this Squatch?
He's also not far. He's not that far from us. He's only an hour away out by Florida, New York, kind of.
Oh yeah, he's not far at all. So
it's not far.
Anybody, listen, I'm just kidding. I know all these people, and they're all I know. I said it was going to be a fun show. We were going to laugh and joke. Everybody that I said I didn't know, I actually know very personally, and they're all good people. So don't take that the wrong way.
We're just busting, man. We're just busting. And I apologize.
The only guy that we mentioned that is not a good dude is that Squatch guy. Forget about him.
Yeah, he's a piece of work, that kid. But
so like all right, so back to the question: dream hunts. What
my dream hunt?
If you could go on a dream hunt, what would it be, and why would it be dangerous game in Africa?
I think my dream hunt would be either, I don't know, maybe a moose hunt with the bow. I would like to go after a moose.
Canada, Maine, Alaska, Sheriff Moose in Colorado. What are we talking here?
I'd like Alaska, to be honest with you. I think they're a little bit bigger guys up
Alaska,
there.
Yukon moose. Now we're talking.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Maybe a coastal brown grizzly hunt. I don't know if
Squatch, we might have a future together, brother.
Yeah, I'd really like to do the coastal brown grizzlies. It's something I've always had on the back of my mind. Also an elk hunt. I'd love to go out west, do an elk hunt, especially with the bow. I think that would be fantastic. That's like my dream stuff right there. I would just love to do it, kind of fly in on a float plane and set up a camp and do something like that for, a week or so or whatever. That's kind of where my brain's always led me to want to go. So.
All right. Listen, we'll get you to Africa. You'll experience that, and then you'll forget all about them brown bears. All right. All right. So I do want to take a second, if you could, tell everybody where they can find your content.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So everybody can find me, of course, on Instagram, Outdoors and More with the Squatch. You can find me on YouTube, Outdoors and More with the Squatch. That's my channel. I try to post a lot of good content on there, cover all the bases, deer hunting, predator hunting, fishing, anything else that I get into, in the meantime, I'll post it on there and stuff. I'm on Facebook a little bit, but I don't do a lot on there. Not too much of a Facebook guy. But those two the Instagram and YouTube is usually where I'm at. I'm on Camo Space.
I hear you're pretty big on TikTok and Twitter as well. That's where you really gained your fame.
Nah, you got me confused with the other Squatch guy. I did have an OnlyFans page once, but they paid me more to keep my clothes on and take them off.
An OnlyFans page or an OnlyBones page?
Yeah, no, it was an OnlyFans page. I tried it, but they were like, just put the clothes back on, please. You're scaring everybody. We'll pay you. Just put your stuff back on.
All right.
You said we were gonna have fun, so
you got me. You got me with that one a little bit. All right, so I do want to take a quick second and mention you do still have merch available, right?
Yeah. If you go on Bonfire and you type in Outdoors and More with the Squatch, you can get shirts. I've got hoodies. You can get kids stuff, the shirts in the kids sizes. I hooked up Johnny for his daughter a nice little pink hoodie and stuff. It's got the Squatch logo on it. It says I'm a Squatch watcher on the back. You go right on Bonfire, type that in, order a shirt, and they mail it right out to you. I make a couple bucks off of it, and I turn that right back to the channel. You know, I don't sit there. I'm not rich on it or anything like that. I want to get some hats made soon. But yeah, if everybody would, you know, jump on there, it's called Bonfire. Just type in Bonfire and then in the search, go under Squatch merchandise or Outdoors and More with the Squatch. It'll come up. And they make some good stuff. I got some really nice sweatshirts, some really nice, some good quality T-shirts and stuff too. Some of the guys got them already. Got to get you some. But yeah, that's it for the merch for right now. You know, until I hit like 2 million subscribers or something, and then, you know,
Well, I mean, you're almost there, right?
I got a way to go yet.
So, all right. So I do want to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Big plans for the next few years.
Big plans for-
What does Outdoors and More with the Squatch have in the lineup for us?
Okay.
Coming up, without giving away anything too crazy. What are you kind of shooting for here in the next 5 years? Other than becoming, you know, an Only Bows team member, obviously.
Well, hopefully that comes about. I would be happy to be with that. But no, just to bring a lot better quality of filming my hunts, a more professional level.
Professional is a loose term, in case anybody's wondering. We use that term very loosely.
Yeah, well, I mean, just a higher quality, I guess, because my stuff is kind of basic right now. But it's hard when you're just by yourself and trying to do all this and edit and the whole nine. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But just to really increase the channel a lot more, better hunts, better fishing, and you know, working with the companies that I'm working with now. I mean, you know, hopefully the stuff that I put out there, they're happy with, and maybe, you know, if I go somewhere or do something with them on a higher level, that would be a great accomplishment for me. I would love nothing more than that. You know, I got 5 years to go until I retire. So hopefully by that time, you know, this stuff will take off and I'll be able to, you know, actually enjoy what I do, you know, and maybe make a little something out of it too. But the best thing is
you enjoy it now. Let's be honest with the audience. You enjoy what you're doing now, right? Come on. We wouldn't do it if we didn't enjoy it.
No. I do. No, absolutely. But you know, just like I said, increasing my friendships with people on here and working together, collaborating with people. I mean, you know, we go so much further helping each other out than we try to do on our own. We've always worked together, and you know, I really feel that as a group, you know, like we can really go far. We can really accomplish a lot by helping each other, and we've come from one sponsorship to many, and you know, I'm proud of that. I'm very proud of that. I try to put the best quality stuff out there that I can do. I try to be the best outdoorsman that I possibly can, and provide knowledge and information for people. And if I can do that down the road 5 years from now, and I look back and I go, wow, so-and-so came to me and they said, you know, I learned this from you, or I did something that, and I was able to get this or that. You know, I think that's kind of why I was placed here. So.
All right. So before we wrap up, I do want to take one or 2 minutes, and I want to mention something. And I want to give you the opportunity to talk about this. And this, it's a good cause. It's a good opportunity. And you and I are definitely not in the best shape.
No.
I'll preface that before we get into this. But the Survival of the Shawangunks triathlon, one of the biggest triathlons in the country. And I know you're heavily involved in that. And I do want to just take a minute to let you, you know, speak about that and kind of plug that.
Yeah, sure. So a good friend of mine, Evan Davis, him and his father started the biggest triathlon in the Northeast. They run it up here in the Shawangunk Mountains. It goes from the fairgrounds all the way up to the Mohawk Mountain House, which is a big resort. Ends up there. These guys, dude, there's no way I could do it. Not even back in my heyday. No. They train for this. And it's a hell of an event. I help out at it. I'll truck the people's stuff up to the next waypoint where they stop, like their shoes, their swim trunks, or whatever the heck they need. They swim, they bike, they run. Great event. If you're into that kind of stuff, check it out. Usually it starts in September sometime. I think around the 10th or something like that. He had it. I've been with him on it for like the past 3 years. We had Pursuit. Obviously, you brought the stuff up to me there when we had Pursuit involved with it. It was a good thing. But yeah, it's really a great thing. His father's getting older, so he's really took over the reins of the whole event, and he's actually built on it. Just the quality of the way the things run. It's people compliment him all the time on how well it's run. So yeah, Evan's a great guy. I got him his first buck last year. He was ecstatic. Getting him into the bow hunting now. So he'll get there too with that. He's a hell of a good neighbor to my dad, and he's a good friend of mine. And that SOS tournament, you guys can look it up, SOS Triathlon. Check it out. If you're into that kind of stuff, come on up and see us. We'll be up there. It's a really cool event. So yeah, thanks for giving a shout out to that too.
Oh hell yeah! Even though Pursuit's not around anymore, listen, I'd like to still come up, and if we could try and do the show the night before, and try and support it any way we can, it's definitely a good thing. So we'd like to still help out, but So with that, I do want to give you the opportunity one more time.
Sure.
Please tell everybody where they can find your content.
Sure. So it's Outdoors and More with the Squatch. I'm on Instagram. Follow me on there. I sure appreciate it. And on YouTube, Outdoors and More with the Squatch. Got all kinds of hunting videos, fishing videos, and whatever the heck else I throw on there, the predator hunting and the whole 9 yards. And there'll be setups on there of, trail cam setups, techniques, different things that I do to try to help educate people on there. And, like, share, and subscribe. That's all I ask. The more I get, the better it is. And, it helps me bring more content to everybody out there. So, and as always, I appreciate, Pursuit Live. You guys, we're friends from the beginning, man. And, you and Dave, thank you for the opportunity for letting me come on the show tonight. And, it's always a pleasure, man. I enjoy your company. I enjoy hanging out with you guys every chance I get. And hopefully we can do some hunting and even some shooting together or whatever soon in the future and before the summer's over. I really look forward to it.
Oh, hell yeah. And before we leave, I do want to make one quick statement. To anybody that thinks we didn't have Squatch on the show before, this is Squatch's second appearance here on the show. All right. Just so anybody that thinks we've never had him on before. everybody was rooting for this episode. So I just want to say, listen, all right, this is number 2. Not the last.
No.
It's not the first. So.
Right.
So with that, all right, I definitely want to give you a thanks for being a huge supporter of the show and supporters of Dave and I since the beginning. And you've definitely been a good friend, and hopefully we can keep this going for a long time. And thank you for taking some time out to sit here and drink with us tonight and shoot the shit about hunting, because listen, this is what we do. And if you weren't on the show, you'd definitely be sitting here talking about the show. So
Oh yeah.
So with that, Adam, thank you so much for taking some time out to sit and chat with us tonight. Everybody that watched tonight, thank you. Thank you for your continued support of the show, of us, of Adam, and of everybody that is friends of the show. Listen, we don't make a dime doing this. This costs us money to do the show, and we keep doing it because we love doing it. We love spreading the news and spreading a positive message in the outdoors. And as long as people keep listening, we're going to keep talking. That's it. So, and listen, we got a lot of big guests lined for the rest of the year. The show is going strong, and we hope to get stronger. So, it's definitely going to be good. And again, Squatch, thank you. I know you've been a supporter since the beginning, and
thank you.
Let's keep this going here, right?
Absolutely, man. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So that's it. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Catch us every Friday night, 8 o'clock, right here. Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. If you're not following the YouTube page, please head over to YouTube at Pursuit Live. Smash that subscribe button. That helps us out, helps with our engagement. And if you're not following Pursuit Live Official, urban_pursuit_ or the Tactical Outdoorsman, please head over, hit that follow button on Instagram, and Outdoors and More with the Squatch on Instagram and YouTube. Check him out. You will not be disappointed. He's a cool cat, and he's a decent guy. So
I try to be, man. I try to be.
So with that, again, thank you everybody for joining, and we will definitely catch you all next week. As always, have a good night. Hope everybody has good luck in their season prep, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.